It's supposed to be targeted for terrorists, but countries just, once you buy it, it's like, this would be fun. Let's go get the folk from Power, from WURD. Power and WURD, put it together.
Wow.
What we'll do with them is we're just going to slow their messages down just enough to wreak havoc. Just enough. That's all. Yeah. Hey, folks, this is the Power Hour brought to you every Monday through Friday here at WURD Radio. Check us out on YouTube Live, Facebook Live. Oh, my goodness. We're everywhere.
Twitch Live. You got to get Twitch in there.
Yeah.
And don't forget Alexa. Alexa, turn on WURD Radio. Somebody's cussing me out right now.
Yep. In fact, we have to wait for them for a moment for their device to stop saying, "What did you say?" I'm already on. We're everywhere. You can even find us with a tin can and a string attached to it. And check us out. Sitting across from me as we co-host this show each and every weekday is none other than Bishop Dwayne David Royster.
And sitting across from me is the Reverend Dr. Mark Kelly Tyler.
And the glue that holds it together is none other than the Queen herself, Kawesa.
Good morning.
Good morning. See, look, that's that. It's almost Friday voice. That was good. That didn't even sound forced today. It didn't sound forced. It was like, yes, Friday is coming. I only got one more day. I got my weekend in front of me. That is awesome. How are you this morning?
Doing okay, can't complain. I don't know if I told you I have a rental car and I'm like fighting with it every morning. I'm fighting with it because I don't really know how all the controls work and I'm just like, but yeah, I'm doing great. I'm doing great this morning.
Awesome. How was your ride in? Although you were fighting with the car.
Right. No, it was fine. Totally fine. It's cooler out today. I know that, the weather forecast, I think it's going in like the mid-80s or something like that. But it felt really nice. It didn't feel humid and sticky or anything. It just, it was a nice, like, kind of cool summer morning. I appreciated it. There wasn't too much traffic on the road. Lots of trucks always, in the morning anyway. But, yeah, not bad at all.
Awesome.
So you didn't run across any tree damage, fallen trees and what have you from yesterday's storm?
There was, on one part of my route, there was like a giant, not a branch really. I guess it was a branch, but it wasn't like a thick branch. But that was about it. So nothing, I don't think that, at least in my part of Jersey anyway, I didn't get hit too bad. And then like coming up the way that I normally come up into Philly, I really didn't see that there was any remnants of too much of a storm that happened. So yeah, my route anyway was fine, but I can't speak for anyone else. I know people were losing power and things like that. So, but I think that was before the storm, from what I was hearing.
We lost power yesterday.
Wow.
Man,
listen. And the wind, the trees were whipping, the branches are down. I mean, I thought, because I'm actually staying with my parents. We're in Montgomery County, and I was sitting there at one point. I was like, we're gonna get hit with a tornado. We're gonna get hit with a tornado.
Yeah, we were in that area yesterday, and speaking of cars, doing some car related stuff at the shop, and I had to take a lift home, and pulled in the driveway, got out the driveway, and looked up at the sky. And said, "That's interesting. The wind is blowing from the east," and it almost knocked me down. I'm like, "Okay, that's not supposed to happen."
That's
so
right.
It's time to bring everything inside that's not like battened down.
Yeah.
And, just chill. And sure enough, when we had to go back out that way, we couldn't even get there. We just turned around and came back home. It was, there were so many detours, so many trees had fallen.
Yeah.
Cops were everywhere. Like Plymouth meeting, Fort Washington, like you say, up towards your parents' home. And it looked like a bomb had dropped in some places. 80 mile an hour wind gusts were reported.
It was brutal. And it was hailing too. We got hail. At the same time, so that was really rough.
Wow. So hopefully everybody who's out there and trying to get your power back, that will happen soon. And like you said, man, it was just not a day to be outside. And yet, as soon as it was over, it looked like it was just a beautiful day. In 15 minutes.
Yeah, 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 absolutely.
It was sunny, it was bright, it was hot. It was like, did that literally just happen?
Absolutely.
But that just shows you the uncertainty of life. And this is why I say to folk, you have to live every day like it's your last and enjoy it. And, really, because look at the people in Germany. Hundreds of people swept away just instantly. Those are horrific stories. The condo collapse, and just, again, things like yesterday. You're rolling, weather's beautiful, and then 15 minutes, it is so bad it could take your home down. And then 15 minutes later, it's sunny again. So definitely live every day like it is, a day that you want to embrace to the fullest.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah, bro.
Yo.
Trump's former inaugural chair?
Yeah, yeah. He got he is going to jail.
He's in jail right now.
Yeah. They
locked him up in the pokey.
They're going to get all his people. They are going after him. Wait a minute, 1 second. I've got to pull the thing up. But
I think it's Burke or something.
Yeah, he is in jail, and they said nope, you are gone. They said he was an agent of the United Arab Emirates, and he was. I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull the thing up. Well, but anyway, yeah, he was acting as an agent of a foreign government in dealing with Trump, and not good, not good. This is, they're going to get up. They're tightening the noose around Trump in a big way, right? They're going after the people closest to him.
Yeah. So this guy who is a real estate developer, and that's how he and Trump met. He actually helped Trump on the purchase of the Plaza Hotel back in the day. Mm-hmm. And the world famous Plaza. And apparently, they, I guess kind of their defense is going to continually be, ignorance. Like, was that wrong? I didn't know that was wrong.
Shucks, they all knew it was wrong.
Well, what did I do? So again, he's in Trump's orbit. He plans the inauguration. He's the inaugural chair, so obviously he probably really didn't do much. That's more a ceremonial title for your resume, but someone else actually probably did the planning, in all honesty. Mm-hmm. This guy, like you said, he works then he's accused of working, I should say, on behalf of foreign governments to lobby the Trump administration and, things that include like the Paris Accord. Mm-hmm. And the U.S.'s withdrawal from it, and other things that would be more favorable to the country that he was working for. It's nothing wrong with doing that, even as being the former inaugural chair, but you have to register as an agent for a foreign country. He did not do that. And so as a result, all these communications with him and with Trump and Trump administration, who knows what they were talking about. That's what this investigation is going to bring out. But he's sitting in jail right now as the government brings the case.
Tom Barrett. He's 74. He's of Santa Monica, California. And, he was trying to represent the United Arab Emirates.
I didn't know. Bishop, I didn't know it was wrong. I'm 74.
But
I'm an old man.
You run a multi-million-dollar real estate.
I'm an old man. I'm in a walker.
How many lawyers you have on your staff?
I'm an old man. He'll do the Suge Knight. He'll roll up in there in a wheelchair.
Come on. His Trump's accountant was he's old too, but they're still going after him. They're doing everything that they can. So this is a very interesting thing, and I think there's going to be more and more folk that are going to start to be clamped down on as a result of this. And some of these folk are going to turn over to the state some evidence eventually, hopefully. And we will do like South Africa, throw our former president in jail.
Wow, that did happen.
It did. Jacob Zuma is in jail in South Africa. And wait a minute, for 15 months just for contempt of court. Man, do you imagine if we threw Trump into jail every time he attempted to thwart the criminal justice system? for the civil justice system in this country. If every time he tried to obstruct, we threw him in jail for 15 months, you know how long he would be in jail?
Well, I will add this, however, to the South African story, only as a cautionary tale to Americans who fantasize about what you just said. Zuma supporters are tearing the country up.
Yeah.
That is not being reported.
Well, I mean, wait a minute. The same thing would happen here. I mean,
that's my point, which is that you don't really want that smoke. It's probably best just to let that old man stay in Florida. He doesn't have Twitter, thank God. He's not on Facebook, and it would make us feel better until it doesn't.
I mean,
he deserves to be in jail probably for all the different things. I mean, because
we don't know about he needs to be in jail for, right?
But this is my point. He played so loose with the presidency, right? Where he treated it like it was a huge real estate deal. Mm-hmm. That, I mean, again, where rules don't matter. So, hey, you don't need to be a registered foreign agent. We can talk about it. Come on, you're my friend. We done real estate deals together. What UAE wants what? Come on, you don't need to do all that. Let's just talk. Let's go golf and talk. Bro, there are rules for a reason.
Yep.
Transparency for a reason. Because it's not a real estate deal. It's the presidency. It's not yours. It's ours.
Right.
It's the people's house that we allowed you to live in. And yeah, it's just, thank God, again, we got an old, boring president now who every morning we don't have to wake up and drive you all crazy about the latest crazy thing he did. Poor Fox News. They got to work themselves up to be mad about Joe Biden. Did you see what Joe Biden said? You see what he was wearing? It don't work.
Yeah, it's just not. It's just not that appealing. They don't have a champion right now.
Yeah, well, Meg, I'm with you. I will not take your bet. He says he bets that Trump will never be.
Oh, I don't think he's going to jail either, but he should be. But I don't think he's going.
Yeah, I just don't feel like dealing with the Trumpicans when he's in jail. And no, I'm good, man. You're out of office. That's good enough for me. Just stay out of office.
Silenced. He's evidently using somebody's Twitter, or one of his staff. He has some tweets out for him. So
I'm surprised he doesn't use his kids' Twitter.
Oh, I think his kids are kind of pulling back a little bit. They're like, oh, wait a minute, everybody around him's going to jail.
Junior, give me your phone, Junior. We got the same name. I pay for your phone. Give it to me. But Dad, don't Dad me. I got something I need to get out. I got a message to my people.
Yes.
Lord have mercy.
That's very frightening that would happen.
Yeah, well, his guy is locked up now, and that's it. And I got a feeling he's going to face some real time. Hey, real quick news you can use if you're in Philly. MLK Drive is reopening on August the 4th on the president's birthday.
Yes.
Obama.
Nice. I'm actually very happy about that.
Man, I am just, oh my God. I know the bikers and the walkers and the runners and all of those folk are probably angry, but you know what? I'm sorry. You got to miss me. 76 and Kelly Drive is not doing it. There's way too much traffic these days. And we need that drive open during the day. And you guys can have it on the weekend. It's summertime. You have it on the weekend anyway. So
it was April through November. I think they had it on the weekend. So I'm like, yeah. For a few hours. I mean, I don't know that many people are using it during the day anyway. So, it's like, hey, give it back. We need it for traffic relief. And, I mean, I've gotten jammed up. And they're doing that work on the Schuylkill, too, which is not helping at all. And oh, yeah, I mean, and it's rough because that traffic gets backed up and you want to get off, Montgomery Ave. You want to get off there, but there's really no relief. Because you have to go all the way up to, Belmont. Belmont. Yeah, to be able to. It's crazy because normally you could just go down go down MLK Drive and shoot into the city. Can't even do that. I'm like, oh no, y'all need to open it back up.
But you can in about 2 weeks. So look, we have to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. And there is an interesting story out of Tarrant, Alabama, where a council member believes, as a white person, it's okay to call his black colleague a house N-word. You're not going to believe this story that Bishop Royster has. We'll be right back on the other side.
Join WURD for the Summer of Freedom Neighborhood Love Tour. This year, we celebrate West Oak Lane, Mantua, North, West, and South Philly. I'm Tiffany Bacon. I will broadcast live from a different neighborhood each Friday from 10 a.m. until 12 noon. Our next stop is Penrose Playground, 1101 West Susquehanna Avenue, Friday, July 23rd. Enjoy a special feature on the Summer Olympics, meet special guests, and stand with WURD. Be a part of the movement to amplify the voice of the Black community. Show your support and join or renew your 4WURD membership on site. That's the Summer of Freedom Neighborhood Love Tour at Penrose Playground from 10 a.m. until 12 noon. WURD, showing love this summer.
The WURD Radio Neighborhood Love Tour is sponsored by Comcast and supported by PICO, Keystone First, Ready Set Philly, and Hope Partnership for Education.
What's up, Philly? It's Sincerely Sarita. With so much uncertainty surrounding the upcoming school year, now is the time to take charge of your child's education and give them the tools to make learning fun and safe. Check out Commonwealth Charter Academy, which can make a difference in your child's life. Commonwealth Charter Academy, or CCA, is a K-12 public cyber charter school with nearly 20 years of experience providing a flexible, stable, online education in the comfort of your home. Enroll today at ccaeducate.me. Your child will receive 1. A world-class accredited education streamed directly into your home at no cost to you. 2. A laptop, headphones, assistance with accessing the internet, and learning materials, all provided at no cost to you. 3. A safe learning environment with no bullying or security concerns. Join the nearly 2,500 students from Philly who already attend CCA. The school year begins September 8th. Enroll now at ccaeducate.me.
Stage Door, focusing on arts and culture in and around Philadelphia. Hosted by Tiffany Bacon and co-moderated by Jeffrey Page of the Philadelphia Theater Company. Part of The Source, Fridays at noon, exclusively on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Streaming live on WURDradio.com, the WURD Radio app, or watch live on WURD TV via Facebook and YouTube. Sponsored by New Voices sponsor Comcast, NBC Universal, and PICO. Tune in every Saturday at 6 p.m. to Recovery Talk 101 with your host, Rick Ford, talking about addiction, treatment, and recovery, right here on WURD Radio. Want the latest in WURD swag? Check out the shop tab on WURDradio.com. Hoodies, tees, and more in a variety of colors. The shop tab on WURDradio.com. Show the world that you're all about Black. Talk Media. You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent Black media.
Welcome back to the Power Hour. This is Dwayne Royster along with Mark Kelly Tyler. We're here Monday through Fridays from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. to bring you the latest news, happenings around Philadelphia, and, of course, our opinion. And, hey, don't forget to join Tiffany Bacon this Friday from 10 a.m. to noon at North Philly's Penrose Playground, 1101 West Susquehanna Avenue. It's going to be a special feature on the Summer Olympics. You'll be able to meet special guests and stand with WURD. Be a part of the movement to amplify our Black community. Show your support and join and renew your 4WURD membership on site. And join us as we broadcast again from the Recreation Center at Penrose Playground from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. WURD is showing us some summer love. And so we deeply appreciate that and look forward to Tiffany being out in the Penrose Playground area.
Yeah, that's going to be nice, man. That's going to be nice. Probably going to be better than being in Tarrant, Alabama.
Yes.
Where is Tarrant, Alabama? What part of the state is that in? I know
I
Alabama.
have no idea. It's in Alabama. That's all I know.
I used to go to Alabama like when I, going to undergrad at Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my frat brothers are from Alabama, like Dothan, Phoenix City, Birmingham, Montgomery, Selma, all those places. But I don't know anybody from Tarrant.
Yeah, Tarrant seems to be a very interesting place. So recently this week in a city council meeting in Tarrant, Alabama, Tommy Bryant, who is one of the council members, was referring to one of the black female council members, Veronica Freeman, and he said, "Do we have a house in here? Do we? Will she please stand up?" To which case, Veronica Freeman began crying, put her sobbing in her hands, and the Tommy Bryant, the white council member, said he was repeating things that he heard from the black mayor, Mayor Wayman Newton, say about Veronica Freeman. So the issue at hand, though, was that Tommy Bryant was being questioned by a member of the Tarrant community because on his and his wife's social media page, they were using the N-word quite freely on their social media. And so he was being questioned by a member of the public who was concerned by his flagrant disregard for the use of the word and for the black members of the community. In which case, he jumps up and then starts saying this in reference to the mayor, who was black, referring to a black woman who was black, or a woman who was black, the other council member. And so this whole thing is kind of blown up in a bad way. The video has gone viral. The mayor is now, being questioned by folks about why he would use the term to refer to another black woman. And people have accused the mayor of attempting to bully Veronica Freeman, council member Veronica Freeman. And so, but there's a whole kinds of racial tension tied up in this. The Alabama Democratic Party has called for Tommy Bryant to resign, the council member. Tommy Bryant refuses to resign and has announced that he's going to run for mayor.
Well, double down.
Yeah.
So
Tarrant must be a community that's kind of split.
Well, so interestingly enough, looking at the map, it's like a suburb of Birmingham.
Okay.
Birmingham is, I believe, the biggest city in the, at least at one point I know Birmingham was the biggest city in Alabama and somewhat metropolitan. In fact, looking at the map, it's even stranger because Tarrant sits pretty much next to the Birmingham airport, which is named after Fred Shuttlesworth.
Right. Wow.
I'm sure Fred Shuttlesworth would come from the grave and have some words for Councilman Bryant. So wait, sorry, let me get this right. So there is a black mayor who is not a part of this story except that Bryant brought him into it, right?
That's correct.
According to the white councilman who stood up and said, pointing in the direction of a black councilwoman, that asking the question, hey, do we have an N-word here?
Yes.
Obviously.
And not just an N-word, it's a house N-word. Yes.
I'm sorry. That's right. A house N-word. Right. And he uses the full word.
Right.
And he used it very well. Like he said it before. It's not uncomfortable. It's not clunky.
No, not at all. He's very comfortable using the word, yes.
So the R at the end, there's no at the end. The more affectionate term is the R. And my man says, well, the black mayor, he just said it earlier today about her. Yeah. He said she's a stupid house N-word.
Yes.
So if he can say it, why can't I say it?
Right.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question. If he were in the hood somewhere and he said, why can't I say it? My friend said it, and he's around a bunch of black people. What do you think would happen to him in that moment? If this is not city council, but this is just...
He'd have got beat up bad.
Yeah, he probably would have. And he probably would have still been talking about, but I don't understand why I can't say it. I'm just repeating him. When I say N-word, boom, 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 boom. Stop saying it.
Did you see the video, what was it, in Chicago? The video of the liquor store, white guy was drunk, acted up, he called the black guy the N-word, was standing in the line, and he took a beer can and busted him upside his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, folk, do not use this word. Now, let me just say this clearly, right? Black folk, do not use the word in mixed company, right? I don't know where the guy heard this from, but he evidently heard it from the mayor. So first of all, don't use it in reference to other black people. Second of all, don't use the word period. How about we just like move the word from the lexicon? Let's just move it from the lexicon. And so, you know, these folks stand there because what's happening is that this white guy is trying to use a black guy going against a black woman. I mean, it's not only racism tied up in this, but it's also misogyny tied up in this, a patriarchy, and all those things tied at the same time. And now it's convoluting the whole situation. So the reality is white dudes should have never used the term. And, you know, and second of all, mayor, you can't trust this guy. Let's just be clear. You can't trust him. So do not use the term in mixed company, okay?
Well, I will say this. We don't know for a fact that the mayor said. I agree with you.
Right.
But what we know is that this guy is saying that's why he said it. Yeah. Now, we don't have the mayor on tape, but we got him. This is not like a cell phone video where he's like in a meeting and he says it. Dude, he is in a city council meeting in his chair on the council. Yeah. And and to be sure he is heard, he stands up before he says it. Mm-hmm. You know, you stand up to get people's attention. It's like, wait a minute, hear ye, hear ye. I've got something to say. Do we have an N-word here? Mm. To which the room said, like, did he just say that? Yeah, he just said that. And by the way, and they left what?
And they left Councilwoman Freeman crying. Mm-hmm. I mean, nobody's talking about that, right? The damage that was done to this black woman in a very public setting, right? That was deeply tragic and totally unnecessary.
Yeah. Well, you know, again, he probably was like, and now I'd like to officially announce the launch of my campaign as mayor of Terrence.
Yeah, well, they asked him later when he said he was going to resign. He's like, I'm planning on running for mayor. So I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay, I guess that's what racism gets you nowadays. You get to, you know, just be, you know, announce, I'm going to run for mayor. Why not? Trump can do all kinds of crazy stuff. Why can't I do crazy stuff too? I'm going to win. And, you know, this town is only like 6,700 people. It's not huge. It's like almost 7,000 people in the town. It's small. It's a little tiny town.
Yeah, and I think he represents the black district. So I'm pretty sure he's like Democrat. So this is like what a white Democrat in Alabama does. My God.
That's right.
What do you think Republicans do in Alabama?
Yeah.
Y'all in Alabama, if you need us, just call us. You know, you're on I-65. We're on 95. We ain't that far away. We will come stand with you. If you need your cousins from Philly, just call us. I'm sure we'd get some help. Isn't that right?
We come down there. We take a ride down to Alabama.
Yes.
Maybe we could do a show live from the the Tarrant City council chambers, right?
I have an important announcement to make. You and all Ron Burgundy. May I have your attention, please? I have a very important announcement to make. Yeah, man, that's horrible.
It is absolutely horrible. Absolutely. Totally unnecessary. Hey, you?
Yeah, I did. I didn't.
You didn't, yeah. I mean, so wait a minute. So just switching gears here for a minute. Did you happen to see the clips from the interaction between Senator Rand Paul and Dr. Fauci the other day?
So I saw the commentary about it. So I was wondering where that came from. I know this has been testy with them since the Trump administration. What happened?
So, I mean, here's the deal. So that's what we know. Rand Paul is an eye doctor. Okay, mm-hmm. So he thinks he knows everything about there is to medicine, right? Now, mind you, Dr. Fauci is 80 years old, right? This guy he doesn't look 80 years old. I need to know who his plastic surgeon is because he is, you know, he looks really great for 80. And so Rand Paul has been, you know, all about herd immunity, all this other stuff. And he's an eye doctor. He doesn't study this stuff the way that Fauci does because of what Fauci does. And so there was an interaction that occurred on Tuesday during a hearing in the Senate. And Paul was going after Fauci once again. And basically, part of this has to do with a piece, there's something that has to do with the Wuhan Institute, where people believe that actually coronavirus came from, or this particular strain of coronavirus came from.
Mhm.
And so Rand Paul was accusing the FDA and the NIH of using the Wuhan lab as a vehicle to test the spread of various viruses. And so basically Rand Paul was blaming the U.S. government, in particular, I think really referring back to the Obama administration, for spending money in this Wuhan lab to test to see if this particular virus strain could become weaponized. Is really what it came down to. And so they were going back and forth about this. And eventually, you know, Rand Paul was basically like, you're not telling the truth. You're not telling the truth. And Fauci just had it up to him. But he's like, there's only one liar in the room, and that's you. You're the one that's lying. And just
Fauci said that?
Yeah, Fauci said that to Rand Paul. He said, you're a liar, and I'm done answering your questions. So that was it was a very testy exchange, to say the least. And what a powerful way for him to stand up. It was actually really interesting because I don't know that he would have done that when he was serving Donald Trump. But I think, you know, now serving Joe Biden, I think he just, you know, he's feeling free to speak his truth without any hesitation. And he just called Rand Paul a liar. And it was actually interesting because C-SPAN kind of spanned back to Rand Paul at that moment. Mm-hmm. And Rand Paul's face was sort of like, oh, man, I just got slapped. You know, it was quite interesting.
Well, you know, first of all, you know, I just really, you know, the kind of people that get on your nerve are folk who think because they are in a discipline and they're in a room with people who are not in that discipline, right? So you got a person who has a medical degree for, you know, his specialty is eyes. He's in the Congress, and so very few people in that room have any kind of medical experience. So that all of a sudden makes you an expert on all things related to medicine. Are you crazy? Right. Like nobody who would take him serious on a hospital ward floor dealing with COVID?
Right.
Unless it's something that has to do with COVID entry into the eye, which it does, those kind of things. You have no place at this table, young man. Go sit down somewhere. This is for the experts and for the folk who have specialty in infectious disease. Mm-hmm. If you don't have that, then go on somewhere with your general practice, you know, self.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't make you an expert. I mean, it's like, you know, we got friends like that who are preachers. I think because you've been to seminary, that makes you an expert on all things. No,
it doesn't.
It doesn't.
It does not.
It does not. Telling folks stuff that's not true. And it's, you know, and what's most important about this is, I mean, really. So I just got this story tweeted to me from Nikki O'Tim. And this is, speaking of Alabama and COVID, talking about how a story comes together before we go to break. Mm-hmm. Alabama doctor says this about her COVID patients, some of whom are dying. Quote, one of the last things they do before they're intubated is beg me for the vaccine. Mm-hmm. I hold their hand and tell them that I'm sorry, but it's too late. End quote.
Yep.
See, people out here getting people killed.
Yep.
You know, this Delta virus, the Delta variant is having its way with unvaccinated people who have listened to largely Republican conspiracy theorists and those who did not want to raise the ire of Trump supporters, mm-hmm. telling them that Fauci is just perpetuating a hoax and that it's not true and you can't die from COVID.
Right.
And it's all just a big thing to get Trump out of office. You know what? Stop it, all right? And stop fighting Fauci. It's like trying to kill the messenger and not deal with the message. And you got people dying right now. I mean, that is a horrific story. An Alabama doctor, because this is where COVID is going crazy right now, in places like that, because in addition to calling black council members N-words, they also are like rejecting the vaccine in big numbers, while other nations beg for the vaccine.
Absolutely.
And then once you're about to get that intubation, and you know you ain't coming back from that 9 times out of 10, is can I get the vaccine now? No. Hate to be all biblical, but Jesus said, you know, if the homeowner had known that the thief would come that night, they would have done better to prepare themselves. It is like a thief in the night. But this one is a thief we can see coming a mile away. Take the vaccine. We got to take a break. It's 6:41. We'll be right back.
the Broad Street line.
Georgetown High-Speed line.
I ride the bus.
Regional Rail, every day.
Ursula Línea Azul. I ride the trolley.
Into, out of, and all around the city.
SEPTA is the hometown way to go.
Plan your trip at iseptaphilly.com.
Whatever the world brings, we're always moving forward. Reinventing business, reimagining home, and reemphasizing community. At PICO, we're redefining support, finding new ways to provide financial assistance, supporting opportunities for good jobs, and uplifting our communities. We're by your side through it all, because whatever the future holds, you're ready to take it on, and we're ready to power it. Find the support you need at pico.com.
Support small, Black, and Brown-owned businesses by joining the Diverse Procurement Collaborative, a community of business leaders committed to supplier diversity. Get engaged at chamberphl.com.
So many times we say to ourselves, I need to make a difference. Well, your chance is here. Center in the Park is holding a virtual volunteer event Friday, August 6, 2021 from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Advocate for those who can't, support those who can, and ensure all long-term care residents live with dignity and respect. Register for this Ombudsman event at info@centerinthepark.org. We all feel better when we do something that matters and when we do something with purpose.
This is not a fad for us. We will not resume our regular programming when things die down. We're not black to help our bottom line or because it's politically correct. We're not joining a fight. This has been our fight, our message, our people. Black lives have always mattered here. We are undeniably, indefatigably, unapologetically, permanently Black Talk Media. WURD. Now, a traffic update on WURD Radio.
Good morning. This report sponsored by Smart Mouth, the only 24-hour mouthwash with twice daily use. Looking at 95 southbound, getting busy there from Cottman down through Bridge. Again, Betsy Ross through Girard. Further south, Blue Ridge, the Commodore Barry, a little slow. That earlier construction cleared. Northbound your jam from 322 through Kirtland. That is because of ongoing left lane work. Schuylkill Expressway westbound Broad to Passyunk jam through construction there. Again, City out to Belmont getting busy. Westbound Vine Lake Parkway through the Schuylkill Expressway. Then Franklin Bridge, you're going to find that heavy on the span heading into Center City. Crews made pretty quick work of an accident that has been cleared, but still busy right now on the Ben Franklin Bridge, 55 northbound, Deptford in the 42 slow. Stay fresh out there with Smart Mouth mouthwash, the only mouthwash that provides 24 hours of fresh breath with twice daily use. So whatever the day may bring, you can stay sunny with a side of fresh. Grab a bottle today. Find Smart Mouth in the mouthwash aisle at CVS or visit smartmouth.com to find a retailer near you. For more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
Now, a WURD weather update. Here's NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley.
A stretch of nice weather that will carry us into the weekend. This morning, mostly sunny skies, increasing clouds this afternoon, but dry and low humidity today, a high of 84. Clearing tonight, sunshine tomorrow, 85 the high. The humidity stays low. A bit warmer on Saturday with mostly sunny skies, a high of 87. I'm NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley.
You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent black media.
Welcome back to the Power Hour. This is Dwayne Royster along with Mark Kelly Tyler. Hey, we want to wish happy birthday, a happy belated birthday to one of our listeners who one of the great labor leaders in our city, Ethelyn Lynn Baylor, celebrated a birthday the other day. And so just wanted to give you a shout out and say happy belated birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
There we go. So anyway, I just want to clarify something. So part of the issue with the whole Fauci situation was that it's called gain of, and actually I just lost the page, shoot. Where is that? It's called gain of function research. Mm-hmm. That they were fighting about at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. And what it does is that it basically talks about how they can use the disease to spread or use it to weaponize it and things of that nature. So Paul was claiming that the federal government was paying the Wuhan Institute to figure this out on other viruses and things, and basically saying that we were funding the Wuhan Institute and that this is their fault. So it's a whole mess. But anyway, yeah, Fauci called him said he was a liar, said he didn't know what he was talking about, and yeah, this really goes all in on him, which actually Rand Paul needs. So, I'm all good with that.
Wow, that is incredible. And no, Nick, Wuhan is not a former rap group.
Yeah, we need to play the shark music, the Jaws music, because it's sitting out there.
It's too late. He already snuck in. Nick Talaferro is among us. He's probably woozy because he's not usually up this early in the morning because he does evening words with Nick.
Well, by the way, Nick, great show yesterday. Nick did that show yesterday, the cross show with Chicago, talking about gun violence. Yeah,
they did do it. All right, so I told you I knew I couldn't hear it live, and so I want to go back and check it out. And actually, speaking of that, there was a study by a Philadelphia-trained doctor and researcher who is now in Atlanta, working in connection with Grady Hospital. If you know anything about Atlanta, it's like one of the most prominent, well-known hospitals in the area. And she is Dr. Randy Smith. She has made a correlation and a strong connection between gun violence and food insecurity.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so in her words, she said that if you were to take the map where food insecurity in an urban area like Philly, or in her case, she said when they did it for Atlanta, she said when they laid the map down for food insecurity, and then you overlaid that with the map where it showed the hot spots for shootings in the city, she said it fit snug like a glove. Mm-hmm. And then she went on to say, look, I mean, it's not like food insecurity is the cause of gun violence. What we're saying is that the cause of food insecurity and the cause of gun violence are probably interrelated. And along with, and she went down the same laundry list that you and I talk about every single day on the show: stagnant wages, housing insecurity, poor infrastructure, schools that are not fully investing in young people. And so her words, and she kind of reminded me of you. She said, if you want to fix this, you got to go upstream.
That's right.
You got to find out what's causing all of these things, because, again, if you look at the map, you want to know where the shootings are going to happen, then look at the map where people are food insecure. It's going to probably happen there as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Poverty, that's a driver. That's a driver in all of this is poverty. Which is also a reason there's food insecurity, there's housing insecurity, lack of education, lack of infrastructure in those communities. And we could also tie it to voting as well, because if people don't vote, they don't get the investment in their communities. If you want to see where the biggest investment is in our communities across the city of Philadelphia, look at the highest voting districts. Mm-hmm. Those highest voting districts get everything they want. They get everything they want. Lowest voting districts, go take a look at those neighborhoods. You can tell where the low voting. Now, the question is the chicken or the egg. Was it that people didn't vote there first, or was it because, they didn't, or that there was just bad infrastructure and the folk there don't have any sense of hope, so that they don't gain? I don't know which one it is. I mean, actually, I do think I know what it. I think it was a lack of investment, because a lot of those neighborhoods were originally black and brown neighborhoods, and so there was a lack of investment during times when folk were not encouraged to vote, not encouraged to engage in civic participation. And so therefore, those communities really suffered deeply. But nevertheless, there's poverty, there's a lack of civic engagement, and a lack of engagement on the part of the members of those communities in really trying to create the change that's necessary.
Yeah, I mean, listen, so Nick says in the comments, it isn't simply food insecurity, but food insecurity is just a marker of deprivation. Yeah, that's what I think we're all in agreement that that these symptoms, and so I would even say the same thing about gun violence itself, right? I mean, is gun violence really the problem, or is it the symptom of the most extreme symptom of something that is going on, right? I mean, and so so we really do need to go back up. But again, what typically happens is most of us, so our food insecurity organizers and activists, some of whom we know, are they working in partnership then with people who are working on school reform and school funding? And are they working on people who are working with people, I should say, who are working on gun violence? And, you know, so this big circle of us who are all kind of doing our part in a silo, thinking that if I can just fix this, and somehow never think, you know what, let's look around. Wait, we're all working on something that has the same root cause. So we say we should band together and let's go upstream together.
Well, but
and
see,
put it into this.
Yeah, but I totally agree with that. And I think that part of what we have to do, too, is also go to, I mean, look, a lot of those folk that are doing that work are also organizations, nonprofits that are funded by a philanthropic community. And I think the bigger challenge is how do we tell the story to the philanthropic community that if you fund us together and in a big way to be able to address these concerns, and the city actually makes a significant investment in these terms. If we have a $5 billion budget, $100 million in gun violence prevention or prevention, it's not enough. I'm sorry, it's just not enough. You need a lot more than that because you do need food, you need education, you need to be able to address housing, you have to be able to address infrastructure issues that are in those communities, you have to address public transportation access in those same spaces and the cost of all of that. All of that has to be a part of it if you're really trying to address this all the way across the road. And we have to stop pitting these organizations against each other to be able to fight for dollars, because that's part of the challenge too. A lot of us we're all scrambling trying to get dollars to be able to fund our organizations and the work that we do. And so sometimes it doesn't always appear to be as helpful to work in community together. So we've got to find ways to be able to raise sufficient dollars to be able to come together and sit at a table. I think you're right. I mean, we should be working with the Greater Philadelphia Food Bank in dealing with like our economic dignity team, and also dealing with the criminal justice team at Live Free, and also dealing with climate, because when we start dealing with the health outcomes of people in those same communities that are in with a lot of gun violence, I bet you will find terrible health outcomes, hypertension, diabetes, a variety of lung diseases, asthma is going to be high in those areas. All that stuff is tied together, and it's poverty, a lack of investment, and basically people who don't give a damn about the folk that live there.
Well, let me just add this one thing, because I know we'll run out of time. So there's a comment in the chat, I think kind of tying back to Nick's show yesterday, saying that, you know, the stereotype of one-term solution or one incident causes for gun violence. And they're pointing out that in certain places in Philly where there's a high degree of gun violence now are places where there is no food deprivation, right? Well, let me just say this, that I keep saying that a part of the reason that the numbers are higher this year in all cities, not just Philadelphia, you cannot take COVID out of this. And didn't I just say the other day, like, you got to walk away from some altercations right now. I'm going to tell you, and I know I'm preaching to the choir, I'm preaching, to the choir and preaching to myself, because I can be a hothead, especially, in traffic and other kind of places. So if you ever see a video of me going off in traffic, it's real. It's real. I'm not even going to tell you it's Doc. No, it's probably real, because, we all can lose our stuff there. But at Pat's Steaks last night, Pat and Gino's across the street from each other, in line, two guys get into it in their early 20s, start fighting. Who knows? Probably been drinking. It's 1-something in the morning. Get into it, and one of the guys pulls the gun out in front of everybody, shoots and kills him, runs to the Liberty Bell, and then surrenders.
Wow.
Literally probably never thought that's how that night was going to end. But I'm saying to you that I think, as in addition to everything that we know about gun violence, COVID has put all of us on edge. And we are in a different headspace. And so act accordingly, you all. And some things, for God's sake, just walk away from it. Your pride will survive, but your family needs you more. And just, you don't know who you're going to run into out here. These streets are very tense.
Yep. We have to cure the disease of hopelessness right now. So that's the pandemic that we have at the moment. But anyway, thank you, everybody. Thank you for that, Dr. Tyler. That was really powerful words. Remind everybody, let it go and keep on walking. Live for another day. So appreciate that. All right, everybody, that's it for the Power Hour this morning. We greatly appreciate everybody that's checked us out on the air and through the various social media means that we have. including Alexa. Alexa, turn on WURD Radio, just to make sure that you don't miss any of the other shows during the course of the day. Thank you, Dr. Tyler, for everything you do. Thank you, Kwesa, for holding down the boards. Everybody that's commented on all of our social media, we appreciate each and every one of you. Stay tuned now for Wake Up with WURD. And I forgot who was the host today. With Solomon Jones. And we'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. to start this all over again. Family, do yourselves. Do everybody in the world, in your community. Kool-Aid, the kids that come out and get Kool-Aid in front of your house, go out, change the damn world, because if you don't, nobody else will. Peace.
Did you hear the